The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy 628 here today giving you an NU tier Pokemon Showdown battle. And if you've been watching some of my NU battles recently, you would know that this is a team that I've definitely loved laddering with lately, so I only take the best battles that I've had during the laddering experience and showed it to you guys. In case you're not familiar with the team, I have Piloswine as my defensive wall, and I have Wartortle as my specially defensive wall. Got a Banded Sock, got a Scarf Braviary, Specs Jinx, and Life Orb Scolipede. And I know I kind of am going against what I said in my last video saying that I'm not necessarily very good at hyper offense, but NU is definitely a tier I'm much more familiar with. In fact, it's probably my favorite tier. And so I know the way it works a bit better, so this is why this hyper offense team works pretty well. Anyway, now looking at my opponent's team, Tangela is such an annoying threat. And so my best counter to it is definitely Jinx. So I need Jinx around until Tangela goes down. And the problem is he has Licky Licky, so if I Ice Beam and unfortunately the Licky Licky comes in, I'm going to have to figure out a way of taking out that Licky Licky because I'm sure it can probably take 2 Ice Beams. So those are my 2 worries. Let's see how this battle goes. So I start with my Piloswine just to get my rocks up. It'll be some nice residual damage because he doesn't have a spinner, and it could potentially remove a Sock Sturdy if it's not the Mold Breaker type. So I'm just going to go for the safe Earthquake on this turn, and he's actually going to go for the Leech Seed. And I just don't find Sleep Powder common enough to actually see Sleep Powder as a threat, which is why I'm just really in here just kind of almost sacking my Piloswine really because its job is to get up rocks. But now that I do have it as sleep fodder, that's at least nice. So now I'm going to go right into my Wartortle, and I'm really not worried about this. I didn't mention this Scorbus as a threat in the team preview because honestly I think I have some decent counters to it. This Scorbus gets so very greedy that it decides to go to +4. And honestly, I'm just not even worried. Wartortle's like, cool story, bro. I'm just gonna rapid spin your rocks away, cause HP grass ain't nothing. I'm in taunt range, and that Skull did a nice chunk, and now we both go down, and he only has rocks on his side of the field. So this is definitely nice for me. Now I feel this is a decent opportunity going with Sock. I can just get a CC off and do a nice chunk to something. Except freaking Tangela decides to ruin my day, and even after rocks, doesn't die in another close combat. So I don't want him to potentially go for the Giga Drain and bring me down to my Sturdy and just him get all his health back. So I'm going to go into my Scolipede because I'm sure I can counter anything that Tangela has to offer. Turns out the Mega Horn just takes out 1 hit. Now the Sock comes in, not really sure what it's going to do, but I know that Piloswine can take it. And so I'm just going to leave it in the die really because the Tangela is gone, so it's not able to go for Sleep Powder anymore, so I don't need Sleep Fodder. And turns out I wake up here, go for the EQ, do a really nice jump. Now I'll make a potentially really bad play here of going for the Ice Shard because I thought maybe I could take it out from that range in case it tries to go for a crunch or something to take me out. Turns out it just goes for the Sucker Punch, and I just wasn't able to do enough. Now I have to U-turn with Braviary. It's my best option. He does have Aftermath, so I take a little bit from that, but I'm alright. Now my Sock is slower than his Sock, so I'm going to be able to take out his, and this is very nice for me. Now, this Piloswine is a threat right now. I don't know what can take an Ice Shard from this thing, other than Jinx of course, because it's just a resisted priority move. But, of course I have base 35 defense, so I'm not going to take it very well. But, now I'm just going to go for the Psychic. Does a nice chunk to that Licky Licky, but it's just not enough. But what he doesn't do is go for the Wish. So maybe it just doesn't carry it, but this just puts it in an easily revengeable range. So I'm just able to go for the CC and take out that Licky Licky. Now the Piloswine can of course go for the Ice Shard this turn, take me out, that's no big deal. So now I have 2 pokes left. I'm going to come in with Scolipede. I do have the Life Orb superpower, which barely misses out on the KO. I was really banking on it taking it out. I just wish it would have done a bit more. Now I just need to hope that Braviary can take a hit. Thankfully it does, because Piloswine is very powerful. It can have some more attack investment if it really needs to because it's naturally bulky. But thankfully I'm able to barely get the narrow 1-0 victory. Thank you to Braviary. So thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.